This is wild. It's wild because I'm looking at how the narrative has changed and or gotten out of hand. So right away, first thing we saw from Saturday as Colorado was on national television, Colorado football, national television as it's sleeting and it's cold, is you see Shedeur Sanders throwing passes to, that dude, Travis Hunter, a guy that was going to be, maybe the best cornerback at Florida State, who ends up going, no, I'm going to go to Jackson State. I'm going to go both ways. And then I'm going to follow Coach Prime to Colorado, where I'm also going to go both ways. And you could see that there were guys out there that were making plays. And by all accounts, that Colorado spring game was a success. They had 47,000 people at Folsom Field in what could best be described as cold weather. And people were excited about what the Buffaloes might be able to do come Pac-12 season. And then by Monday, the narrative had flipped totally on its head. So here's what we know about Colorado football. And then we will take it all into account and assess it, right? 18 players entered the portal after spring practice ended at Colorado on Saturday for Monday. So that's 18 on Monday. By Tuesday, April 24th, that number's up to 20. Tuesday, April 25th, that number's up to 20. It might go up, it might go down. But Coach Sanders also spoke about this on Saturday. He said, I didn't kick them out. They walked out, right? Which is another way of saying either they knew something or they knew something, right? Now, perhaps that's reaching too far, but I do think it's important to point out two things here. One is Prime said he was going to flip the roster. He said that, and he started doing that almost as soon as he stepped foot on campus. Number two, there have been 40 newcomers to Colorado since Prime got to Colorado. Now, that number includes staff as well as players, but 41 players have entered the portal since Prime got to Colorado. 62 have entered the portal from Colorado since they began in 2022. But what nobody seems to want to say is when you go 1-11, a lot of people don't want to play football there anymore. All right, so that's that, right? Now, let's add another Prime quote to this that we got from Saturday following the spring game. You all know that we are going to make some moves. We're going to move on from some team members, and we're going to reload and get some kids that we really identify with. So this process is going to be quick. It's going to be fast, but we're going to get it done. All right. That's another way of saying, hey, I want my guys, which is what every coach ever says. Matter of fact, they say it most when they ain't got nobody. When you don't have talent on your team, you say, no, we didn't get 5 stars. We got our 5 stars. We got our guys. Oh, yeah? Somehow the guys that you didn't want to go get end up kicking your head in, and then we got to talk about your guys. Prime has decided, no, we got to go get players. We got to go get players so we can go win football games. So if you don't think you have what you need, what are you going to go do? You're going to go get it. Now we're talking about amateurism versus what professionals do or don't do, right? Because some of y'all are still getting woke to the committable offer. And the idea of a national letter of intent is not a 4-year contract. It is a 1-year contract that has to be renewed every single year. And you just don't hear as often about the guys who don't get their contracts renewed. If that sounds like professionals, it's because that's what you've been doing to kids that play college football since we invented the idea of a national letter of intent, which is slanted toward the university. That's why financial aid agreements are a little bit more sexier. They put the university on the hook, whether or not the kid plays football or not, ensuring that they get that education that so many of you think is so important versus them getting paid to play this game, which is another story altogether. But let's get back to the transfer portal numbers here for a second. Lincoln Riley goes to USC following Oklahoma, makes off with the Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback, gets a Heisman Trophy out of half the staff. Also loses, in air quotes, 21 scholarship players to the portal. Nobody says boo. Everybody just says that's roster management. That's what you got to do in this day and age. Okay, cool. What about other programs? Well, in this cycle, Arizona State has seen 29 players enter the transfer portal. They got a new head coach. His name is Kenny Dillingham. Ole Miss has seen 29 players enter the transfer portal. You know how Lane Kiffin wants to do this. He's looking for the best players all the time. He's got 3 different quarterbacks that could start for him right now. Spencer Sanders, Jackson Dart, and of course, my goodness, Walker Howard. All right, that's off the top of my head. Well, as I lose my pen. Arkansas has seen 27 enter the transfer portal. Oregon has seen 26 enter the transfer portal. Texas A&M has seen 26 enter the transfer portal. But we talk about Prime, right? Now, you want to be negative about it? Cool. That's great. I mean, it's April. You can do that. He had 5 quarterbacks. Now he's down to 1. Tell me which one of them dudes you thought was going to play. The one that's still there? The one named Shedeur Sanders who was throwing passes? All right, me too, right? 10 wide receivers were on the roster. None of them are returning. Okay, cool. So Travis Hunter is not a receiver for you. Okay, Cormani McClain doesn't have the capacity to go both ways. All right, fine. But even if you want to take those numbers as they are, right? 8 of his 14 offensive linemen graduated or transferred. 8 of his 9 defensive linemen graduated or transferred. That portal has seen more than 500 dudes enter it since it opened. Now, everybody goes in, ain't coming out. But there are a bunch of guys that are going in that are good. Matter of fact, as we're recording this show, Tyler Buckner put his name into the transfer portal from Notre Dame. That was a guy that was good enough to start against Ohio State last year. Dudes are entering. Now, whether or not Prime can pull them out, that's what you are really wanting to know. To which I would put it this way. Coach Prime showed up to Jackson State University and flipped a loser into a winner. Okay? Not just a winner, but they won the SWAC championship back-to-back years. Last year, they went undefeated in the regular season, okay? He has got dudes drafted at Jackson State after, I believe it was like 10 years before JSU had seen a player drafted at Jackson State. Now he's at Colorado, which, by the way, is the only FBS program in history to hire 3 consecutive black coaches in a position where they can measure the same. So what we're talking about is, do you trust Coach Prime to go into the portal and pull out the guys he wants and have enough of them on scholarship to go compete? To which I say, I got one of them too. And the last time I checked, the person that bets against Prime usually loses. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.